It was on the 28th of October 1664, within the grounds of the Honourable Artillery Company, that the Duke of York and Albany's Maritime Regiment of Foot was formed. 350 years later, we know them better as the world-renowned Royal Marine Commandos.
My name is Lieutenant Colonel Gary Green of the Royal Marines, and I'm the creator and chief organiser of the Royal Marines 1664 Challenge, which is to celebrate in 2014 the 350th anniversary of Her Majesty's Royal Marines.
The first ever Royal Marine Commando unit was formed on the 14th of February 1942. These new Marine units would go on to stage some of the most daring and dangerous raids of the Second World War.
Since the Second World War, we have developed a specific function of commandos and the Naval's amphibious forces, which has enabled us to deploy in operations all over the world and environments all over the world, including urban, jungle, desert and the Arctic.
Throughout their illustrious history, the Royal Marines have served in most of the UK's conflicts and wars. In fact, since 1945, the Marines have seen action almost every year, with 1968 the only exception. When called upon, they've always been ready to go anywhere in the world and at a moment's notice, be it Korea, Suez, Malaya and Indonesia in the 50s and 60s, or Northern Ireland, the Falklands, Kosovo and both Gulf Wars in more recent decades.
And of course, right up to date is our operations in Afghanistan, where the Royal Marines have deployed on a number of the Herrick operations through indeed to the final deployment of 40 Commando in 2013. And in all of these conflicts and operations, the Royal Marines have suffered significant injuries.
I was injured in 2007. I was serving out in Afghanistan with 40 Commando, and on Christmas Eve I went out on a routine foot patrol. Towards the end of that foot patrol, the section that I was in went firm to give cover for another section. I was walking to a position that I'd selected for myself to get onto my stomach, and I set off an improvised explosive device. My experience of the recovery pathway was completely positive, which is really great for me because I was injured in the early days when it was new to everybody and lessons were being learned, and I still had an extremely positive experience. And now, speaking to guys that are going through it now or more recently, that's even better now. Everyone gets such a high level of care, literally from the field hospital in Camp Bastion through Queen Elizabeth Hospital, which it is now, and then through to their respective rehab units, which for us is Hasler Company. In the early days, I used to get quite frustrated. You know, I was very keen just to get up, get walking, you know, and push things as hard as I could. That's just the Royal Marine way. You just want to take it and go as fast as you can and as hard as you can. I'd been through this place, through the Commando Training Centre, which was tough. I did that when I was 17. And so I knew I had this state of mind that I'd had inbred into me in here. It's as much mental as it is physical going through that stuff. But I knew, you know, with the support that I had and, you know, some determination that I could get through it. The RMCTF have provided a lot of financial support for me and my family. It's quite expensive being me. The equipment that I use and stuff is expensive. It's stuff that I need and it's stuff that they help and provide me with. And I find it extremely reassuring to know that 30, 40, 50 years down the line, you know, if I am in desperate need of anything, you know, for my, my medical needs, that I can call them up and that a team will rally together and they'll do their best to help me out and get me where I need to be.
The Royal Marines Charitable Trust Fund was established in 2010, at a time when the Royal Marines were suffering significant casualties in Afghanistan. Realising that the needs of those wounded, be they physical or mental, would continue to grow, they set out to raise £6 million by October 2014, enabling them to provide a better quality of life for both serving and former Marines and their families.
The 1664 Challenge is extremely vital in raising money for the RMCTF. The RMCTF spend money, I think, as fast as they get it in. It's a constant cycle of spending it to look after people and then people doing events to get that money coming back in. And big events like the 1664 Challenge can raise a substantial amount of money to put into that kitty. You know, without people's generosity and people's determination to do these kind of events, I think things would be very different. But because, you know, the lads are so determined and desperate to help. You know, these things change lives. These events and the money that is raised changes lives for the better.
Having served in the Royal Marines now for 34 years, I've seen with my own eyes the selflessness that our Royal Marines display around the world. And having seen some of these guys that have been injured and come back from operations and still show the commando spirit that they had when they joined up and they still have now. And that's the determination for me to do something. So if you want to help us celebrate our 350th anniversary and support the Royal Marines on this epic challenge, then please go to our website or go to our Just Giving page and donate whatever you can to support injured Royal Marines from operations around the world. Thank you.